Grease the movie was first released in 1978. The movie is an American musical romantic comedy that was directed by Randall Kleiser and produced by Paramount Pictures. It became the highest-grossing film the first year it came out, and in the US, it is still to this day the highest-grossing musical of all time. The soundtrack was the second best-selling album of the year, and is also the second best-selling album and top-selling soundtrack in history. Some of the most famous songs are Greased Lightning and Summer Nights, and here are two small clips of each song.
Why could be greased lightning?
We'll get some overhead lifters and 4-barrel quads, oh yeah. Keep talking, whoa, keep talking. Fuel injection cut up and chrome-plated rods, oh yeah. We get already, get already. With the 4-speed on the floor, they were waiting at the door. You know that ain't no shit where they get listed. Greased lightning.
Come on, you don't want to hear all the horny details. I don't care.
Summer loving had me a blast.
Summer loving happens so fast.
A quick summary of the movie is that it was about two lovers in high school set during the 1950s. They met each other at the beach during the summer and separated when they had to go back to their senior year in high school. Just by luck, Sandy Olsen, also known as Olivia Newton-John, didn't end up traveling back to Australia to her house, but ended up at the same school as Danny Zuko, also known as John Travolta, when she stayed in America. This is where they met each other again and fell even more deeply in love. Throughout the movie, it's filled with excitement, romances, friendships, and plenty of music. It's a must-see film if you haven't already. With the movie Grease, it was made in the 1970s, when in the film it is supposed to be in the 1950s. And the main question is, how did this film represent or not represent the era that it was meant to portray? The answer to that question is yes, and it accurately reflected the time period it was set in. The goal of Grease was to portray the 1950s and transition into the 1960s. It did not have a bad effect on society, it had the complete opposite. With how they represented the culture of life, social structures, clothing, music, and the different ways people acted in the movie exactly illustrated what the time period was like. I asked Mrs. Bodie, who worked at the library, and even though she was not born during the 1950s, she still had an idea of the effect it had on the culture during that time. She said that the movie may have been Hollywoodized a bit, but she still thought it portrayed the 50s like she would have imagined the time back then from knowing the basic culture. We talked about how the social status was represented correctly with the different groups of boys and girls, just like the Greasers, aka the T-Birds in the movie. It showed how women and men acted back then and what their social statuses must have been like. Overall, this is a must-see film, with getting a 7.2 out of 10 review from IMDb and having almost every reviewer say one of the best musicals brought to big screen. It's obvious that the effect of this movie is greater than most. Again, thank you for watching, and see you next time.